Sin City was a maybe.
Hi, welcome to my podcast. My name is Jolly. This is Dead Name. And today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do a deep dive today. And it might be more of like a shallow dive, to be honest, because there really was not much to find in the archives. I even went so far as to try to use the Wayback Machine, and it did not produce shit for me. So today's video is going to be about PaigeeWorld. I mentioned it a while back on like my internet video, but basically when I was younger, like between like 10 to honestly, I think I was even as old as like 17. Was I 17? Nah, I had to be like 16 or something, or maybe even 15. Um, anyways, between those years, I was on this website called PaigeeWorld, and it was a art sharing website that mainly focused on anime and manga drawings that ran from 2010 all the way to 2019. So like they low-key have like a little minute, like a good 9 years where they were hosting people and like having posts and contests and all kinds of crazy shit. Like they even had a shop at one point where you could like buy markers or something. And the origin of the website starts basically because there was this girl named Paige, and she started making how-to tutorials on how to draw. And she would post them, and she originally had like either a website or an app called Pagey Draws or Page Draws, something along those lines. And it got popular enough where people wanted a community, and so her dad started building her a website, and they eventually named it PaigeeWorld. And that is the site that I grew up on. Maybe I found out about PaigeeWorld through PageeDraw. I just don't really remember very much from that time of my life. So yeah, I was on PaigeeWorld. I was posting my little art, doxing myself on the internet. I actually found the drawing, like the sacred texts. I found them in my iCloud Drive. I went looking and digging, and I fucking found it. Where it's actually much worse than I thought it was, because I listed my government name, my age, my fucking height in inches for some reason, the town I lived in, and the elementary school I went to. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, bruh. Why? Why? Like, I should have had my phone taken away. It wasn't even my phone. I was posting this shit on my mom's phone. And so, yeah, I doxed myself on the internet at like 10. And I'll actually post it here. I'll blur out the information, obviously, but like I'll post the drawing here. It's real. And so, anyways, I spent a good chunk of my life on this website. I was on that website every damn day. I even dedicated a drawing to my first two followers, and I had like their at and everything. I'll post that here because I also found that. And yeah, it was just a wild time for me. Like I I was not popular by any means, at least not in the beginning. It took like a year or two. And my art was improving very quickly. So I actually started getting a little bit of attention on there, like at like 12 or 13. It was 2016, and I was getting like 200 likes on a post, which low key is balling for that time. And so, yeah, and the thing that I remember most about PageWorld was like the role play groups. I so I know, it's so bad. It's so bad that I role played, but like, can you blame me? I was like 10 and I was looking for community, and I found it in bitches that role play on the internet. Like no tea, no shade to anybody who role plays, right? Like no tea, no shade. I was just like 10, and and the people I was role playing with were like 17 to like 20 something even. And I thought it was like a fun, creative, supportive community for the most part. But there were and these reasons I'm gonna list off are the reasons why it got fucking shut down in the first place. But um there were a lot of issues with moderators, and also the site itself, like moderators are just like power trip. And the site itself was very unorganized, and I think that was a disservice to the community that it was housing, because it was predominantly for children. Um, like most of their users were between the ages of like 9 to like 16. Um, and I don't know, like maybe even people who could possibly go up all the way into the ages of 30. I allegedly, I've been seeing some posts in my research where people mentioned that there were even 30-year-olds on that website. And so I'm like, ew, okay, that's odd. Um, and they had some pretty big names. Like if you were ever chronically online and like you posted your art anywhere, I think the main site people mainly think of is like DeviantArt, the place where they post all the fetish art. Um, People think of DeviantArt, but PaigeeWorld was like the little brother to DeviantArt, where like the beginner artists and the children would go. And for a lot of kids, that was like their only form of social media. And so it was very toxic, let's just say that. But the site branded itself for all ages. So I I personally don't agree with the way that they were marketing themselves. I don't think you can have an all ages site. Just morally, I don't agree with it. Um, I think children should just have their own dedicated spaces, especially on the internet. Like, I'm sorry, but as an adult, I don't want to be on a website where I know there's going to be like legitimate children. You know what I mean? Like Instagram is its own thing where you have to be like 13 or older, right? Like I don't even like the idea of sharing it with 13-year-olds, but like 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds even, like bitch, I was one of the 98-year-olds. Like I was on that site, and to be sharing it with people who were like 16 even was low-key crazy, because like there's just so much that happens developmentally between like 9 and 16 that I don't think that they should be really like meshing together. And yeah, and eventually it reached a point where the reason why I got shut down was because people would spam like porn and gore and self-harm and like other really like lascivious things on the website, to the point where like they couldn't moderate it. But like even before that, there were issues with like people posting suggestive or inappropriate art, and that is kind of where my argument of like there should be no mixing of like children's spaces and like adult spaces by any means. Um, because yeah, like people would post like suggestive drawings, and it got to the point where they'd be like, "Hey guys, by the way, can you guys stop posting that suggestive art? It's really hard for us to get Google ad revenue from it. And Google will flag it and say that, and they'll take the ads off of that picture, and then we don't get to make money on people who look at your post." Um but the thing is they wouldn't condemn you for posting suggestive art. They wouldn't condemn you for that. They would simply tell you not to use certain hashtags. Hey guys, by the way, um if you're gonna post like a sexy Sailor Moon pinup, like don't put the words like sexy or boobs or anything in the hashtags. Make sure you use things like pinup and like more watered down PR language hashtags. They were encouraging that, but not necessarily condemning the art itself on a children's website. That was a website that children used predominantly. And so going off of that, the role plays. I'll get into the role plays because Loki is fucking crazy. Um, there was like zero moderation for these role play groups. What you essentially would do to make like a role play group on PaigeeWorld was that you would just make another account and you would dedicate that art account to specifically being about the role play. So like say you were gonna do like a Dungeons and Dragons role play group, you would just make an account, post like a character sheet, and then you would put a hashtag specifically for your roleplay group, and you would um wait for people to make their character sheets and post them, and then people would go through and like select certain people. Some of them were just like open calls, so like anybody who posted their character sheet would get a link to the roleplay group, and they would then and it would usually be on like Line, which was like an Asian WhatsApp. And so you would just like take this link and you would go to the fucking like random ass Line group chat. And then you would just start role playing. And I say all that simply to uh, showcase to you that there was like no vetting going on. And remember how I said it was like a mixed age, all ages website? So like you would be like 10 years old, and I'm speaking from personal experience. You would be 10 years old and you would be role playing with bitches who were like 19. And that's actually how I met my first groomer, was in one of these role play groups. It was crazy. And the thing is, they wouldn't like ID check you or no shit like that, or like even ask you your age. And I remember I got asked my age a few times. All I did was lie, and then they just like took that at face value. Maybe this was just the nature of the internet back in 2016, but I think that's crazy. And maybe that's what happens when you put a bunch of like teenagers together and you tell them to that they essentially can just do whatever for willy-nilly, you know? So, yeah, these roleplay groups were crazy. They would get suggestive very quickly. Um And maybe in like if you are somebody who was on Pagey World at some point in your life and you remember it differently from me, maybe you just got lucky and got to be in these like more moderated, more maintained grouped like roleplay groups or sides of the website. But like me personally, I don't know where the fuck that shit was because I was all over the place. And so yeah, that's my overall general impression of the website. Um, it was an experience for sure. And I also, I guess now I'll just like get into the tea. Um, there were issues with moderators. That was kind of like a really big thing. Obviously, the main issue was the porn and the gore and stuff getting posted on the website. But largely, if you had like a common experience with anybody else who had gripes with the website, it was because of the moderators. And there are whole Tumblrs, I guess, blog posts dedicated to just like talking about the tea that happened between the moderators. And it seems that there was a moderator named Nika. I think her username was baby girl Nika 7 or something like that. Um, I'm gonna screen record in a second and you'll be able to see it, but she seemed to be the main antagonist that got documented online. Um, and I like even went onto her Tumblr and she was like active like last year, so she's still up and at it. Her Loki, her art didn't get any better. Actually, when I saw the post, I like recognized the art style. Like, I literally recognized it and I remembered seeing it on the website. Um, so anyways, I will stop yapping now and I will just get into the screen recording and we can just all digest some of the things that went down on that site together. I found this Tumblr blog called PaigeeWorld Drama. And here is an example of what you would see whenever you were on the site. And when this is the example I was bringing up earlier, about inappropriate drawings being on the website despite it being for all ages and the majority of their users being like 12. Um, this is a submission from somebody. Uh, I believe the pink Pegasi person in this post. But yeah, PaigeeWorld's official account said, image removal. Unfortunately, we have been forced to remove some images that were directly flagged by Google. We needed these images removed quickly or our advertising accounts would be disabled. Since advertising is our primary source of revenue, we really need to comply with Google as quickly as we can. You can still use tags to describe your image, but be very careful as to what the combination of tags could look like. Our developers are working on a method so that our users can rate drawings as they are posted. We do not have a firm date on when this will be released. This would allow you to rate your drawings as PG-13. If the drawing was rated PG-13, we would not show advertising in association with that image. PaigeeWorld will still not allow adult content, as the maximum rating would be PG-13. Anyways, our developers are working on a new moderator tool to flag drawings as PG-13. This would allow our moderator team to flag the drawing without deleting it. When the drawing is flagged as PG-13, it will still be displayed, but no advertising will be seen with the drawing. Hint! For example, if you post a Sailor Moon pinup, use the following tags. Sailor Moon, pinup. Do not post tags like this. Big sexy boobs not safe for work, Sailor Moon. If you tag incorrectly, an image would not normally get flagged by Google may get flagged. Like, what are we doing, bruh? What are we doing? Sailor Moon characters are minors. The official account was on this bitch being like, by the way, if you do like Sailor Moon pinups, like don't be posting no big boob, sexy, not safe for work shit on here. But you can say Sailor Moon and pinup of drawings of minors. And this was like actually like a really big issue on the website of people posting suggestive slash like lewd content of minors, not real life minors, but like drawings of minors, who are in like cartoons or fandoms or anything like that. Overall, very rancid. Like, remember how I said that it was an all ages site and there were mixed age groups, such as between 9 to 16 and even as old as 30? Yeah, very weird. And this pink Pegasi person who submitted the post to the T website says, I'm not that surprised, to be honest. Users were getting features slash shoutouts containing this material, which is very unacceptable, considering this is supposed to be an all ages site. Yes, ate with that. The rest of their fucking text makes no sense. I mean, it makes sense, but like their grammar is shit. Um, Also, I don't think I really like the idea of allowing PG-13 work on this website, considering it's supposed to be a place for artists of any age. A very large amount of users here are 12 and younger. There are very little sites that allow young artists to upload content. I feel like it would just turn PaigeeWorld into the next DeviantArt, which is like the website where they post like fetish content. Keep in mind, I have nothing against such content. Remember the bitch that I mentioned earlier, the baby girl Nika7? She's on here, and she says, at Pink Pegasi, we are working to have a messaging system and blocking system in the future, but we are trying to find ways to accommodate all types of artists. We want younger artists to feel comfortable here. However, we don't want older users to feel like they're being restricted too much. We hope to find a happy medium. So essentially what they were trying to do was cater to everybody. They knew they were only popular because young artists and beginner artists and people who were like fucking 12 were using their website and posting their art, and they were getting ad revenue from like the crazy amount of people that were on there, right? But they needed older artists on the website, one, to bring more traction to the site, but two, also because they had this point system called like Paigee points or something. And you either got gifted them or you had to pay like real life money to get them, and that's what you would use to like enter contests and stuff like that. And they would have like constant contests like all the fucking time where you would like draw the two main like mascots that they had called I don't actually remember how to pronounce their names, guys. I'm sorry. It was like some blue-haired bitch and some red-haired bitch, and they had like cat ears and shit. And they would just like get drawn like all the fucking time. Like for every fucking contest. It was like draw these two characters in Brazil for the Olympics. Draw these two characters in a Halloween setting. Draw these two characters at Christmas. Like it was like low-key annoying because it didn't really like promote originality. It just like was free promo for the site. And that was another thing. I saw posts of people saying that the owners of the website were like using people's drawings, I'm assuming from the contests, to promote their website, but without notifying said artists. Like, I feel like that's like rule number one, asking for permission, and they wouldn't even do that. On top of all the egregious things they were doing, like letting little kids be witness to like suggestive and lewd art on their website, the little baby girl Nika bitch was saying all that, right? We don't want older people to feel restricted on our site. And then Pink Pegasi Loki ate them up and was like, how is it being taken into consideration? Nika, you have uploaded art of suggestive material yourself. Example, your set of DA commissions and the art for Slugbox. I'm very concerned about how the mods here act. Not only have I seen this art from you, but there has even been suggestive art of minors being featured before. Example, the images of Ladybug and Cat Noir with their outfits being more revealing. I don't think I really see how mods take that into consideration when they let such things as that happen. Ladybug and Cat Noir are max 14 years old. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I'm gonna. So, you guys got a little taste, right? You got a little taste of it. I believe there is more context as well further down. So, Um, yeah, this person mentions how the Sailor Scouts are teenagers, and the um fact that they were like saying pinups, excluding one of the characters, uh, would be like super inappropriate for an all ages site, and it's pedophilia. Um, Also, they don't like the implication of telling users to sneak around to upload these images. A professional site website owner would be doing their best to adhere to those guidelines for the benefit of keeping their site alive. Also ate that up because it's true. And then after that, um, they're talking about being an adult themselves, knowing better than to upload nudity and provocative posing on PaigeeWorld. Um, but Nika has done art of suggestive material involving nudity, provocative poses, and lingerie that she posted to her PaigeeWorld. The following image are not all of the ones she's done, but if you glance through her profile, there will be more. But on top of that, she also made gift art for Slugbox, who is a not safe for work artist and draws clop art. You learn something new every day. I didn't know what the fuck clop art was, but luckily they gave you a fucking definition right after, which is pornography involving My Little Pony characters. And one of the images was done of his OC in lingerie, while the other wears a shirt with the words Daddy's Little Monster. As far as I'm concerned, lingerie is considered to be not safe for work, and I'm very positive the shirt would be in reference to a daddy kink. Both are very inappropriate for an all ages site such as PaigeeWorld. If I was a parent and found these images on that site, I would be very concerned. Period. 8 with that. And in reference to the miraculous ladybug fan art, I can't find the images, but I know there was a call out post on Tumblr about it in the PaigeeWorld tag, but it's deep down there. If I run into it, then I'll send it over. I know it had Ladybug and Cat Noir's outfits changed to be more revealing, and Nika tried to defend it by saying that it wasn't graphic, despite the fact that the characters are 13. I just feel very grossed out about how the moderators treat minors. Are some more call out posts of baby girl Nika 7. So here's this one called PaigeeWorld Receipts Blog. The title is called Dentata Master Post. Hey there. This is a master post in regards to a recent incident. Dentata incident is in regards to the mods violating their policies when it comes to certain artworks, specifically an artwork with teeth in the vagina, hence the name Dentata. Anyways, responses. Many users called out the mod's hypocritical behavior and shared their points of views. Users have argued that since the site is ages 9 plus, it should have been taken down. However, the moderators, specifically Mod Nika, had told users to leave the site and claim the nudity did not violate the policies of PaigeeWorld because it was censored by teeth. A mod's job is not to encourage people to leave their site. This is a sign of unprofessionalism. Irregardless of what mods think, they must cater for all selective ages and not just one. Many parents consider images of genitalia or even hints of them in images to be unsavory for their children. I don't like the way that they wrote this post. It's low-key cringe as fuck. The fuck do you mean unsavory for their children? It's downright a crime. Don't say unsavory, bitch. Don't downplay it. It's a crime. Anyways, in addition, although PaigeeWorld caters to people who are not minors, it does not dismiss the minors who are in PaigeeWorld. The job of the administration is in PaigeeWorld is to cater for the users and to listen and understand their concerns. If they refuse to listen to people's concerns and even resort to having fits online about these concerns, this is unprofessionalism. Due to the backlash of refusal to delete a post and the unprofessionalism of the mods, Nika has slightly hinted to a threat towards any negative feedback. I'm gonna click on this link. Loki, does it work? Oh my god, these work. The links work. Okay, wait. Let me go back. Let me go back. What does this show? Oh, okay. I'll share this. So this one is, I guess, a screenshot of a Tumblr post. 3. To the person who so kindly submitted their rant on Kick about how disgusting PaigeeWorld is for allowing a semi-inappropriate thing, remember that PaigeeWorld isn't just for little kids. It's also for mature people. Graphic nudity and pornography isn't allowed, but the post you were whining about was literally not that bad. If that one image causes you to think that PaigeeWorld is so much more disgusting than DeviantArt, then leave. We won't force you to stay on a horrible, disgusting site that for the most part is safe for all ages, where each individual moderator handles more than 10,000 people. Please feel free to take your childish hatred off my blog and don't let the door hate ya where the good Lord split ya. Okay. This bitch thought she ate. So we'll go back to this tab. Anyways, yeah, weird. And then there's another one. This is a screenshot of the same blog post. 2. That being said, sending me hate, especially over dumb things, is not going to result in a kind and positive response from me, especially not right now. For those of you who don't read my PaigeeWorld posts, there's a lot of crap going on in real life that is stressful to a ridiculous point. I do not have the long fuse I normally do. If you want to bring an issue to me, feel free. However, if you're disrespectful, make sure you can take what you can dish out. I guarantee there's a whole side of me that you have never seen on PaigeeWorld. Bitch thought she ate, bitch. Be fucking for real. Why are you defending literal pornography on the website? Like, I'm gonna let the fart sounds play because this is so stupid. Why are you defending inappropriate drawings on a children's website? That's fucking insane. You're poo poo doo doo caca. Like, what are you talking about? Anyways, that's my rant about that. This is from October 15th of 2015. I think it is such a snapshot of the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm not Canadian, so I don't have any stakes in whatever this might mean to Canadian people, but from what I remember, PaigeeWorld posted this saying, Happy Canada Day, eh? And somebody said, I don't know anyone who says eh. And that got like 1,000 likes, this post. And then everybody else is going like, this was a moderator named Endless Sky, who I saw mentioned a few times, but I couldn't find anything else about them. Just people hinting to them and that there was controversy, but never anything actually that I could see on Tumblr. They replied to that person or somebody, and they said the A part was just a small joke. The PaigeeWorld company is actually based in Canada. So, like, the bitches that own the website were Canadian and they made the post, but then all these, like, Canadian people, I guess, were in the comments, like, throwing a fit. They go, the A do exist, but people don't say it more than people say or oops or any other type of one-word sentence / sound. Seeing people think Canadians say A all the time is just, it's as ridiculous Oh my God, I can tell this person is 12, is as ridiculous as when the American stereotypes you see in Japanese anime. Offensive? Not really. Lack of creativity with jokes? Yes. And then the moderator goes, calm down. It was just a little joke. No harm meant by it. We were making fun of the stereotype. We do it a lot, actually. And then they reply to a bunch of people. It's just a joke. Paige Draw is actually based out of Canada. And then they go, we don't say A. That's actually offensive that people think that. Why is everyone saying A? Not everyone says A in Canada, especially not Quebec peeps like me. A is not our trademark. I live in Canada, and what's with the A? It's getting really annoying to Canadians. And then the T account just goes, official PaigeeWorld account using stereotypes that offend many of that said national group. Mod Endless Sky is the one defending the stereotype. Hashtag Endless Sky. Hashtag stereotype. Hashtag unprofessionalism. Very interesting things happening on PaigeeWorld. Very interesting things. Um, but yeah, I actually do remember when I was on the site, one specific account I remember, they posted like self-harm drawings. Like their character specifically had self-harm scars, and they would post like cute gore. I know that sentence is not in the Bible and it makes no sense, but it would be like gore. So like somebody like a cute character with like their little guts hanging out, and it would be like pink and stuff. So it wouldn't like be like graphic in that sense, but it was graphic. And I was 12 when I saw those posts, and they were getting like hundreds of thousands of likes. They were super popular. They were like one of the bigger creators on there. Um I think their name was like Gore Guts or something, or like something cutesy with the word guts in it with a Z. And I think it was definitely a product of its time, like 100% a product of its time. But I just feel like there was such a severe lack of protection for the minors on the website. And they were trying to dip their finger into too many pies. You know what I mean? Like they were flying too close to the sun. They were trying to do everything for everybody all at once, and there's just no way to do that, especially when it's like fucking, I'm sorry, but like the anime, manga, fan art community is low key like ludicrous. Like there there's gonna be not safe for work art. If you have an art community, there's gonna be people who are gonna try to test the lines and post not safe for work art. Just like with any social media site, people are perverts, and they're gonna want to post their not safe for work art on there. And like it's one thing to have like a dedicated site that is like, like if you want to see that kind of shit, you can go there and see it. But to have a children's website that's allowing people to post content like that is just a whole nother level of wrong. And as an adult looking back on it, like the things that were going on PaigeeWorld were not okay. And I know a lot of people look back on it fondly. And like I said, maybe you were not unlucky enough to meet or engage with any of the really rancid people that were on there. But me personally, I was like best friends, like twinums with those people. It was a time in my life for sure. I still look back on it fondly because it's kind of like the main reason why I got into art in the first place, and like why I became so dedicated and why I tried so hard to like do all that I could when it came to my artwork, and why I improved so fast. Um, Damn. Thinking about it now, and like I was 12 and I was already brain modded for fucking internet validation. Like that's so sad. And yeah, but it did build the foundation for my creativity and my passion for art. And so for that, I can thank PaigeeWorld for that, but that still doesn't make the website okay or good or dismiss any of the like actual terrible things that were going on that site. Like you can acknowledge that something gave you something good while not dismissing the fact that it was probably terrible and shouldn't have existed in the first place. Um, I and like no wonder them bitches went broke. Yeah, because like everybody who's on your site is literally 12. They don't have bank accounts to send you money or donate. Um, but yeah, That's pretty much all I could find. I'm actually really disappointed and sad that I couldn't find more about it. Like I said, I tried to use the Wayback Machine to like look at our internet archives of the website, and there was just like nothing. Like all it showed was just the bottom of the screen, like when you would scroll all the way down, like where they had like the about or like their little website links. That's all that would show. It wouldn't actually show me like a post or a like an account that you could scroll through, unfortunately. That's been my very brief, very low-key disappointing deep dive into PaigeeWorld. Um, I mainly just made this for fun because I actually just wanted a reason to research it and try to see what I could find about it because I spent so much time on that website. Um, but ultimately it was a piece of shit, piece of junk, inappropriate ass website that took advantage of kids and didn't really um put the protections in place that those children on that website deserved. So this is just one long PSA to monitor your children's internet usage and to pay attention to what websites they're on. Because even websites that look innocent, like PaigeeWorld, where it's just like, oh yeah, my kid's just gonna like fucking post their art and shit on there. You never know what could be on that site. You never know. It could be 16-year-olds running that website. It could be adults on that website posting pornography, or even teenagers posting pornography or lewd provocative artwork on there. You just never fucking know. And so I think people should really be vetting the websites that they let their children on and doing what they can to keep their children safe. Because the internet has never been a safe space for children. Um, it never has been. And I think that it is dangerous and ridiculous to ever assume that it was or ever will be. I think that the internet is a lawless land, and that while you can't prevent everything, I think monitoring a website that your child uses should be a priority. That's been my deep dive on PaigeeWorld. Thank you for watching, I or listening, and I hope you have a great day. All right, bye.